Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'll explain you guys how a callback function works in JavaScript. Okay, so I'll take a quick example. Let's say I want to display hello world in my web page. Okay, so at that point of time, how you can use the callback function in order to gather the data, from the server. That means loading the data to the server and actually displaying that particular data to your web page. Okay, so first of all, I'll just create the JavaScript code and then we can test it out in the web page whether it works or not. So you can start off with a function. Okay, function, let's say for loading the data, so I'll write function load data. Okay, and this is a callback function. Okay, now next what we can do is, so let me write for clarity, this is basically for simulating or for you know loading the data from server. Okay, then what we want, let's say we want like after 2 seconds the data should appear on the web page. Okay, so for that we have to use the set timeout functionality in the JavaScript, right? So we can write set timeout. Okay, set timeout. Fine, and here what we can do, so this is the arrow function which we use whenever we use the timeout functions or any other functionalities, which actually tends to like some delay or some you're setting some time or something like that. Then at that point of time you use the arrow function. Okay, then let's say I take a variable const data, and inside the variable I have the message which I want to be uploaded in the server. Okay, so I'll write message and then I'll write as hello world. Okay, this is my message which I want to display in the web page. Fine, next what I'll do, I'll call back the data. So that's the callback function which is working right over here. So why we are calling back the data? Because we want it after 2 seconds to come up in the web page. So for 2 seconds we'll write 2000. Okay, and then this is done. Now next what we have done in this particular load data callback, so here what happens, this particular function will simulate the loading data from the server. Okay, and using the set timeout function, what it will do, it will delay the execution by 2000 milliseconds, which is equal to 2 seconds. Okay, and inside the callback function what it will do, that means this is the callback function. So inside the callback function what it will do, it will create a variable which is named as data. Okay, and it will have an object message, and inside the object which is message, it will have a message which is set to hello world. Okay, and then it calls the callback function with the data object. Okay, this is the argument which we have passed to the callback function. So basically this is a callback function which we create, okay, for loading the data from the server. Fine, next step what we do, since we want the data to appear on the web page after 2 seconds, we set a timeout, and inside the timeout we take a variable which is data, which has the object which is like an object which has the message hello world in it. Okay, and how do we call it? We call it with the help of passing on the argument, that is this particular argument data, into our callback function. So callback and then inside that data, and 2000 is written because it is 2000 milliseconds, that means 2 seconds. So after 2 seconds hello world will appear. Now what we have done is we have given what data we want to load it from the server, but next is how do you actually display it on the server? So for displaying it we can write function, okay, and we can write display data. Okay, and here we can pass on the data which we have taken right over here, this one. Fine, and then we can write const message element document dot create okay, and next what we do, we write message element dot text context, okay, and here we can write the data message, okay. So message element. Now what is happening in this particular function? Okay, so display data function we have created. So what happened, this function will call back the function provided to the load data. Okay, that means this particular function which we have created, so display data will call this particular function which is load data, okay, and it takes data as an argument. Okay, here we have passed on the argument as data, okay, and furthermore what it will do, it will create a new element which is p. Okay, so this particular line which will create a new element which is p, and this particular element p will hold the message which is there inside the data object. That means hello world will come inside the element p, okay, and after that we have to append this particular p or this particular element into our web page. So for that the append child is used over here, that is append child function. So document.body append child and the message element. So inside the message element what we have the element p, and what does the element p consist of? It consists of the message, that is hello world. Okay, now we have the data which we want to call from the server or we want to load from the server. Now we can also display the data. Okay, next what we have to do is we have the two functions. So next we have to just go ahead and load it into the web page, right? So for that we can just write load data, and what we will call it over here, we'll just call the display data over here. That's it. Okay, now if we just try to run this particular JavaScript, how can we actually run it? So for that, if you want to see it in the our web page, so let's go ahead and create an HTML so that we can see how it looks like. So here I just write, let's say, callback function, okay, and inside this I just include a script for my JavaScript. So here I'll write script and I'll add the source, whatever file the JavaScript is, that is call.js. So I'll just write call.js over here. Okay, fine. Now I'll go ahead and save this, and now what will happen when I open up this particular HTML, that is restaurant.html, so what will happen, after 2 seconds it will display the message hello world. So let's see if that is working or not. Okay, so here this is the file restaurant, so I'll open this up. So let's wait for 2 seconds. So let's go back and check our JavaScript over here. Okay, so here since we have two changes, so since JavaScript is case sensitive, so here we can keep this, and what else? Okay, rest looks fine. Now let's save it and then let's check it. Okay, so now I'll refresh. Let's wait for 2 seconds, and yes, this is after 2 seconds hello world got displayed in the web page. Okay, I refresh it Let's wait for 2 seconds, and then yes, the hello world is there. Okay, so this is how a callback function works in JavaScript. Okay, similarly, like if you can take various example, let's say like we use event handling, right? So why do we use event handling in JavaScript? That's also a callback function wherein like you can click a button, okay, and let's say I want to click a button, and that button once clicked should display a message that button clicked. At that point of time also the callback function is used in the JavaScript. Okay, and suppose if you want to like iterate in an array, that point of time the callback function is also used. So there are various scenarios wherein the callback function is used. So main thing, you have to understand the logic behind it, like how the callback function is being used in the JavaScript. So you have the structure of the HTML, but after that you want to make it functional, so you'll use the JavaScript, and inside the JavaScript how you make it functional, that depends how you call each and every function in it. Okay,